Take two there, Peter. Thank you.
No probs. Hi, Gary. Do you think the significant difference in the title race this time around is you're not reliant on one player as you seemingly were last season at this time?
Yeah, that might have been labelled against us that we did rely on one player, but I didn't quite see that. But what I would say is now there has been a nice spread of goals throughout the team, and that's a good thing. Competition for places is fierce, especially in the front areas of the pitch. But it is pleasing that goals they're being spread right through the team. When we look dangerous going into the final third in many different ways, rather than maybe just being one-dimensional.
Ronnie, go ahead, please.
Hi, Gary. Just speaking to Borna, talking about the mentality. He sees a mentality change within the squad from the previous sort of festive periods. How much do you think that will bode well? And have you seen the same change in the players' mentality?
Yeah, I was. If we just go back to the weekend against Motherwell, going a goal behind, and then obviously being, asked the question to break down 2 lines of 5. I thought there was good maturity. I thought there was variation in our play, but I just thought the accumulation of pressure put on Motherwell and just that continually prompting and probing and being patient, I thought we got our just rewards at the end of the game, and we were worthy winners, I felt.
David Tanner, please.
Gary, how important a 10, 14-day period is this today for this period for Rangers now? Would you say this period will define the season now in the title race?
David, over my experience of playing football over this period is my memories of it is it's always key. Christmas and New Year is always key in any league you play in, because especially here in the UK where there's loads of games and the scheduling is really tough. And if you can come through it, it goes a long way to where you're going to finish at the end of the season. So it is, I totally agree. It's a massive week, 10 days of high intensity games, tough games, and then just the fact that they keep coming every 2-3 days makes it even more difficult. But it's going to be key. If we come through here nice and clean, we'll be happy.
Andrew McLean, go ahead, please.
Hi, Gary. Just before I get to my question, am I able to get an update on team news? Is there anyone out for this one? Anyone back?
Well, the pleasing thing is Ryan Jacks had a couple of good days on the grass. He's back, and we're pretty hopeful that he could be in and around the squad for Boxing Day and Hibs. So that's a big boost going into this busy schedule. Obviously, Alfredo comes back and he's available and comes back into the squad. And apart from that, everybody else we're good. We're picking from a full squad nearly.
And just finally from me, Stephen had talked about not being happy with the banner that goals had been conceded in the last couple of games. How important is it to get back to that defensive stability that you've had for so much of the season?
Yeah, at times it is a wee bit sort of strange to be hypercritical of a backline and goalkeeper and a sort of a team that's kept so many clean sheets and defended its goal really well. But it's these little lapses that could cause danger. So, knowing the backline boys and the goalkeepers here, that they want to get back to clean sheets, and it is very key. If we can keep clean sheets and go up the other side of the park and be as inventive as we have been and been free scoring, so that bodes well. But as a team, everybody, I don't just look at the back five. I look at the whole team. As a team, the boys want to get back to trying to keep clean sheets.
You're on mute, David.
Sorry, Charles Patterson, please. Thank you.
Hello, Gary. The good play, obviously, the start of the season has built up this sizable lead that you have, albeit the rivals have got some games in hand. Is there a different psychology attached to being pace setters as opposed to having to chase, which you've had to do the last couple of years?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, but the feeling now at the moment is, with this big schedule, we're really taking games, and the cliches do start to appear. We are looking at each game individually. We can't look too far ahead. Maybe as a staff we do, but as what we are trying to impress into the squad of players is just keep looking to the next game. Deal with that game, what's in front of you, and then we can go immediately turn our attentions to the next one. So basically, after the Motherwell result, which was really positive, we're delighted with that result. We turned our attentions to the game tomorrow against St Johnstone, and we don't look too far ahead.
David Edgar, please.
Gary, one of the impressive things at the weekend was the tactical flexibility you were able to display going through the second half, trying to obviously find a way to get ahead, and then even to be able to put on Bongani Zungu at 2-1 and change the game again. Is the depth of the squad useful to you as a management team in terms of being able to for different phases of matches to alter it?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I think as you've pointed out there, the changes are nice and subtle. I wouldn't underestimate what the guys in the first half did, and Glenn Kamara's unfortunate to come off the pitch, but the work and the pressure that the guys in the first half had put upon Motherwell's back lines was very impressive. But it does take time, and I think by the end of the game, it was just that accumulation of pressure, and then the addition of people who are a little bit finer, maybe in the final third, maybe just unlock a defence, and that's what made the difference. And then when we did get our noses in front, the ability to bring Zungu on, who's very disciplined in his approach to the game and sitting just right in front of the two central defenders, just gives you a nice insurance policy, so to speak. So yeah, the changes worked. There were subtle changes, but again, it's that accumulation of the whole team effort.
Thank you.
And finally, Andy Newport, please.
Morning, Gary.
Morning.
We've seen over the last few days the emergence of this new coronavirus strain, and obviously it seems to be sweeping the country. Is there any concern from your point of view, the club's point of view, that if this situation again gets out of hand, that you might have a scenario where the league season can't be completed? Obviously, we've not got any protocols in place from the SPFL in terms of how they're going to, if there's a finish point where the league season could be called or anything like that. Is there any concerns just in that regard?
No, there's no concerns. We we don't make the decisions, as you rightly said there, and we've just got to be as disciplined and the fact is we've worked really hard to keep everybody away from this problem, and we've just got to keep as diligent as we possibly can and just keep trying to focus on playing football.
Cheers, Gary.
Perfect. Thank you very much, guys.
Gary, David, can I ask a quick question before we go? Gary, is it are you in the wrong job to have a birthday on Christmas Day?
Do you know what? That's the thing is, when you obviously I signed the Motherwell when I was 16, and I've been involved in football ever since. And it's very rare that I do celebrate a birthday on Christmas Day, because there's always a game in Boxing Day. It's not a good birthday, is it? To be perfectly honest, let's be truthful. I should change it. I should stick it in June or July. It's not a good birthday.
Should you not be like?
And I've decided I'm staying at 50 as well. By the way, that's my thinking.
Have a good one when it comes, guys.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow night. Thank you.
Cheers.
Right, Borna, give us your thoughts on the character that the boys had to show at the weekend, where it shows that they're under a wee bit of pressure given the midweek result. You're 1-0 down against Motherwell to fight through and get a victory like you did at the weekend. What does that say about the boys' character?
You asked me about last game against Motherwell, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I think that we showed character. Because usually, I remember last season also and season before, when we are, for example, 1-0 down, we always struggle to come back, start to panic maybe, and we couldn't come back. But this time, we believed in each other on the pitch, didn't panic. And at the end, I think that we deserved that win, and you see, we scored even 3 goals. So I think that we showed the team spirit and a very different character from last season or season before.
David Edgar, please.
Morning, Borna. How how important is it to have the quality of player to come off the bench, like we saw on Saturday, the likes of Yanis Hadji, Joe Aribo and Sergio Keaton, who came on and had a big impression in the game?
Yeah, it's very important, of course, especially now when you have 5 subs that you can do. We have, I think, now more than 20 players who can play. Everyone train very well. Everyone are ready all the time to come in. As you can see, for example, this last game, they bring a lot of energy when come inside. And that's what we expect from the players who are on the bench, to bring energy, and they do that. So I'm very pleased with that, yeah.
Ronnie, go ahead, please.
Hi, Borna. I hope you're well. I'm wondering on the game at the weekend. Obviously, it's a team you know well, and team that there's plenty of battles been in the past. What kind of challenge are you expecting, and how important is it that you create a good run of results going into the new year?
In next games, of course, we always expect to win. There is no talk about that. We know that this game against St Johnstone will be tough, especially when we play away. Now the weather is not good anymore, so pitch will not be perfect probably. So the game will be hard for sure. But as I said, we are going to win there, and we will give everything what we need to win that game.
Andrew McLean, please.
Hi, Borna. Given what's happened in the last couple of seasons when we've come to the Christmas period and results maybe haven't been so good for Rangers after that, is there any added pressure from the players going into this time round?
We don't think, to be honest, about that too much, because there is games every 3-4 days, so you don't have really time to think about that. But yes, last 2 seasons that happened to us, and we are now in a very positive way when we talk about league. So we don't think about that and think only about next game, and that's how we're gonna play until the end of the season. Thinking only about next game, which is important, and that's it.
Orls, go ahead, please.
Morning, Borna. Just picking up on that point. You do the fixtures on paper in the next 4 or 5 games look possibly the most difficult run you've had domestically in the league. Are you conscious and are you quite comfortable with the fact that some of these results might not go as well as they have done over the course of the season so far? These are perhaps going to be times where you're going to find it tough.
Yeah, the schedule is a little bit crazy. Yeah, we play every 3-4 days, but as I said, we play that since I think September. So of course that sometimes it's hard. It's hard to recover. We're not playing 3-4 months in a row like that. But that's why we play in Rangers. That's why we present this club. And there is no time to thinking about schedule. We think only about next game and have to recover to the next game. And believe me, we are fully focused, so we will not have problem with that schedule.
David Tanner, please.
Good morning, Borna. Earlier you mentioned about the fact that the players didn't panic at the weekend. Do you think they've got the mentality now that's different, and maybe the mentality of champions?
I cannot talking about mentality of champions, but yes, I can say that mentality is different. We are now almost, actually, it's now our 3rd season that we are together, and we learned a lot about everyone, about each other's. So there is some new players who adapt very quickly, and I think that our mentality is now much different, and I can see that, especially this last game. I don't remember that we have a game when we have been 1-0 down and then we didn't panic, and we still keep to play and be strict to our plan and our game plan. So yes, I think that this is now much different mentality from our squad, which is very good, and I think that our results show that.
Finally, Peter Maguire, please.
Hi, Borna. Do you anticipate St Johnstone and other clubs to adopt Motherwell's tactics, which is basically to try and get everyone behind the ball and defend?
Probably yes. I mean, you know that almost every our game is that the other team is happy with draw. Actually, they just sit back, and that's not easy really to play against teams like that. But I respect them and I understand that, you know, and that's challenge for us. We are, as I said, Rangers, and we need to find a way how to beat that block. But as you can see this weekend, it's not easy really when they stay with 10 players around 18-yard box and just defend. It's really not easy to beat. But as I said, we stick to the plan, and I think that we did everything very well and scored 3 goals. So this challenge will be almost every game. So we need to find a way.
Thank you very much, gents. Borna will do some dailies, and then Gary Mack will be with you in about 10 minutes. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Bye. See you. Bye.